In this video, we will look at how we can multiply mixed numbers using an area model. This standard extends students' work with multiplication from earlier grades. In fourth grade, students multiplied a unit fraction by a whole number. In fifth grade, students will multiply two fractions, including mixed numbers, with only the denominators of 2, 3, and 4. Students are expected to create visual models during their work with this standard. Here we'll look at multiplying 3 and 1/2 times 2 and 1/3. Before we begin to solve, we will estimate so that we can check the reasonableness of our actual answer. So I know 3 and 1/2, I could say that's close to 4 wholes. And 2 and 1/3 is close to 2. And so we could expect that our answer will be close to 8. Now, to solve this using an area model, the first thing that I'll want to do is draw a rectangle for our area model. And then I want to think about how to split this up so that I can show 3 and 1/2 and 2 and 1/3. So I know I'm going to show 3 and 1/2. I'm just going to decompose both of these factors, and 2 and 1/3. And so let me work with the 3 and 1/2 first. First thing I'm going to do is vertically split this into 4 sections. The reason for doing this is so that I can represent the 3 wholes with 3 full sections here, and then I can split this last section up to represent the half. So I'll be able to show 3 wholes, and then I can actually go ahead and split that. I'm only going to need half of this last whole that I've shown there. Now horizontally, I will break this into 3 equal parts so that I can show our 2 wholes and then have another whole that I can take a third of. So again, here I can have the 2 wholes, and then in this last whole, I'll be able to show 1/3. So let me go ahead and split that last one into 3 equal parts, since we'll only be using a third of that. So now we have our area model set up so that we can get ready to solve. So first I'm going to outline the part that we're actually concerned with, because right now this could look like, if we weren't paying careful attention, this could look like a 1, 2, 3, a 4 by 1, 2, 3, a 4 by 3 array. And in that case, we would just multiply 4 times 3, which is 12. But we know that that is not what this is. This is 3.5 times 2 and 1/3. So let's just first outline the part that we need. So we're going to be looking at 3 and 1/2. And that's going to be times 2 and just 1/3. So now we know that we are focused on just this part that's outlined there in yellow. So we can begin to figure out the value of each section. So when we look here, first thing we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wholes right there. That's where we have 2 times 3. So we can go ahead and label that as 6. We have 6 wholes. Then when I look over here, I'll just use a different color. Here I know that each of these is 1/2. So there's 1/2 there and 1/2 again. And that's where we have 1/2 times 2. And I know that gave us 1 whole. 1/2 plus 1/2 would be 1 whole. Now we see down here I have part of another half. However, that is not an entire half there. So I'm not quite ready to include that with this. I'll take a look at that in just a second. So now let's look down here. We have 1/3, and I have that 1, 2, 3 times. So that would be 3/3 or 1 whole. So that's where we had 1/3 3 times. That gives us 1 whole. And then what we are left with is that last section there. I'll shade this in orange. We need to figure out the value of this piece here. And what that represents is where we found a third of a half. This is where our model was split into 1/2 vertically and into thirds horizontally, and we are just working with 1/3 of 1/2. And the way that we can figure out the value of that is we know that this rectangle or square right here, this has a value of 1 whole. We know that each of those in our model has a value of a whole. This whole has been split into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 equal parts. And we see that we have just one of those shaded in right there. And so what that lets us know is that this piece right here that I've shaded in orange has a value of 1/6, because just one out of those 6 equal parts is shaded in. And that makes sense. We took 1/3 of a half, so we have just a part of a half. And that makes sense that 1/6 could be reasonable. So our final step then is to add all of these partial products. So we have 6 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1/6. And when we add those together, we know we have 1/6. And then 6 plus 2 would be 8. And so we have a final product of 8 and 1/6. So this again tells us that 3.5 times 2 and 1/3 is 8 and 1/6. And when we compare that actual answer to our estimate, that lets us know that our answer is very reasonable. Our answer is just 1/6 more than our estimated answer of 8. And so again, this is how we can use an area model to multiply two mixed numbers.